Hey there, welcome to Randomness of Rudy. My name is Tracey. I'm a consulting astrologer and a certified life coach. And in this video, we're going to talk about what it means to have your moon in the sign of Gemini. This is a part of my series, What's Your Sign, Gemini, where I discuss what it means to have all of the planets, Sun through Jupiter, in the sign of Gemini. And so if you have a little one with Gemini placements, or if you are a full-fledged adult with Gemini placements, you may find that this series of videos can be really insightful when it comes to understanding those Gemini placements. Remember to go back and check out the Sun in Gemini if that's you, if you haven't done so already. The moon in astrology describes our needing nature. And so in our birth chart, the moon tells the story of how we deal with our emotions and how we deal with our feelings. Gemini, meanwhile, is an air sign. Air signs are the thinkers of the zodiac. And so when you put the moon, feelings and emotions, in the sign of Gemini, thinking, cerebral, analytical, it describes an individual that tends to think a lot about how they feel. It's an individual that tends to analyze how they feel. It's an individual that tends to be able to detach from their feelings in order to make sense of them and observe them. Moon and Gemini children especially are individuals that really need to be able to communicate how they're feeling. And this can manifest in two different ways. You may have a child that is overly expressive when it comes to their feelings. You may have a child that's so overwhelmed by their feelings that they can't quite identify the words needed to express those feelings. And so you want to make sure with the Moon and Gemini child that you are encouraging them to express and communicate their needs, to express and communicate what they're feeling, to advocate for themselves if they are experiencing any kind of hurt or emotional discomfort. And FYI, this is also true for adults with the moon in the sign of Gemini. This placement also describes a child that feels good when they are surrounded by environments or within specific places and spaces that stimulate the mind. And so your Moon and Gemini child may really enjoy being in classroom settings, especially with other students that they can engage and interact with. Your Moon and Gemini child may very well enjoy spending time alone, reading a good book, even playing video games, toying around with different gadgets and technology. This placement also describes an individual that may do really well when it comes to journaling or writing poetry, all for the purpose of kind of, again, expressing and having a platform to navigate those emotional needs. So these are also things to keep in mind as an adult with the moon in Gemini, but especially if you're a parent who has children with their moons in the sign of Gemini. The other thing to keep in mind, of course, is that Gemini is a very anxious energy. And so, as I mentioned, with the moon in Gemini, there's a tendency to think about feelings. And sometimes there's overthinking that happens as it relates to the emotional world. And this can bring anxiety. This can bring excessive worry. It can bring panic. It can challenge mental health and mindfulness and wellness. And so these two are things that you want to be mindful of if you're raising a little one that has their moon in the sign of Gemini. These natives, these children can really go down rabbit holes when it comes to processing something that is deep within. So the more you can do to encourage them to express their feelings or to identify platforms where they can feel connected with others to communicate their feelings, all of these things would prove quite nourishing and nurturing to children with the moon in Gemini. And so big takeaway, communication is so important with this placement. You may find Moon and Gemini natives, children and or adults do really well engaging with others of like minds and shared interests. That too can be a platform for emotional expression. And of course, we're only talking about the moon sign here. And so if you want more information on your child's full astrological makeup going beyond moon sign, beyond sun sign, I strongly encourage you to purchase a baby astrology book. And if you yourself are watching and would like a chart analysis reading that looks at your full astrological makeup, you can visit my website at traceylrogers.com. Be sure to check out the other videos in this series, What's Your Sign, Gemini? And I look forward to staying connected. Take care.